About 10 years ago, I published a book called Levels of Energy, and that's what these levels of self are based upon. These are stages the self goes through on its way to enlightenment, on its way beyond the ego self. Not beyond individuality, not beyond the soul, but beyond the ego self. So at the lowest, most primitive level, you have something called, or which I call, the lost self, or the reactive self, which is purely survival-based, purely run on emotional reaction into struggle. And when you're at this level, your focus is mostly on your physical wants and needs, such as eating, sleeping, talking, surviving. That's your main focus. Now, there's nothing wrong with eating or sleeping, but that's just the main point of life at this level. So let's say you get together with somebody for dinner, and then it's not about communicating with that person or being with the person, it's about the food itself. That's the main point of getting together for dinner. The physical food itself. At these lower levels of consciousness, in your energy field, in your chakras, in your body, you have shame, guilt, jealousy, envy comes easily. Envy of more successful people. There's fear, there's greed, there's unawareness. Attention is often lost in the past, in remembering, in what used to happen. This person is rarely ever present. And the only reason that past memories reoccur, by the way, is because they happened at a time you were more present than you are now. Which could also indicate that whatever was happening back then, whether it was very positive or very negative, was more interesting than what is happening now. So if what you had right now was interesting enough, if you were passionate enough about it, you wouldn't get lost in these repetition loops of the past. At this level of consciousness, you're more prone to addiction, more prone to bad health, more prone to unemployment. So these things, unemployment, bad health, drug addiction, and so forth, they go along with negative emotions. And it's not that one thing causes one of these other things, they just all go along with this particular energy field. Okay? Just like being present and enthusiastic and passionate goes along with another energy field. So, as this level of consciousness is preoccupied with getting wants and needs met, you don't want to suppress your wants and needs, because that's how you get down to this level. You feel guilty or ashamed of even having wants and needs. You want to freely express your needs and your wants. You want to consciously set borders. And you want to let go of victim consciousness and stop assuming that that which happens to you is a coincidence. And I get that a lot in coaching, you see. A lot of people that come to me for coaching have pockets at this level. In fact, most of humanity has a lot of pockets at this level. Humanity is not as high consciousness as we tend to think. And they'll act as if the things that happen to them are pure coincidence. They see no relation between what they put out emotionally and through their decisions and actions and what they get back. So they'll say, well, I just have this and this issue, or this and this issue keeps coming up, or I keep doing this and this. Hey Fred, I keep doing this and this, and at a sane level of consciousness, you'd say, well, why don't you quit doing it? Then quit, but at this level, you can't process that. You don't have enough self-awareness or responsibility to realize that it's you doing it. I keep doing this and this. It's not that you keep doing it, it's that you decide to keep doing it. And if you were to decide to stop doing it, you wouldn't be doing it anymore. So I call this the lost self, at a level that they're not even aware that it's them who's doing the choosing and deciding. One level up, we have what I call the reactive self. And I know I just called the previous level the reactive self too. I'm aware of that. That's because both levels are basically reactive. It's just that the lost self is even more reactive. Okay? And here we have a general sense of unhappiness, blame, always looking for who's to blame, blaming others, blaming self. Lots of antagonism, lots of wavering and uncertainty, lots of hidden intentions, overthinking everything, overanalyzing everything, desperately trying to control and get a grip on what's happening, because this level is overwhelmed by life. It's just all too much. Things are disorganized. There's no order in your life. There's just too much to do. Inconveniences keep cropping up. And it seems like things just never get done. People in this general state often are often in perpetual disagreement. And they always want to be right, in a way. And if you're always right, how can you improve? Always insist that you're right, how can you improve? Because always being right implies that there's nothing to improve. You know it all, and you know better, and that's it. So, in this consciousness range, the main focus is again on food, on housing, because it's survival based. Got to get it's very, very important to have a house, because it's an unstable state, okay? And if you're unstable, you want a house, you want security, you want safety, and that's fine, that's legitimate. I'm not mocking people who want safety, who want a house, who want everything to be the same. It'll help you overcome this level to get your security, to get your safety. There's a lot of focus on so-called stupid people, okay? And I'm not saying stupid people don't exist, they very much do. But at this level, you're preoccupied with stupid people. You see them everywhere. He's stupid, they're stupid, this culture is stupid, those people are stupid, my family is stupid. People of your own culture are stupid, everybody's stupid, and you always find reasons why they're stupid. The neighbors are stupid. Okay, it's a preoccupation, and at higher levels of consciousness, that's not your main preoccupation. It's you don't really care, you live and let live. Okay? And again, that doesn't mean there's not stupid people around, but who cares? It doesn't have to have anything to do with you or your life. Focuses on neighborhoods, the way the neighborhood is and looks, on shops and shopping. I mean, what a frustrating life that is, where the main point is to go shopping, where you judge every place you visit by what kind of shops they have or what kind of malls they have. I mean, what a boring life, really. Indicates to me that person who's preoccupied with shopping has no passion, has no purpose, has not found their mission in life. If you had found your mission, then shopping would be something you quickly do as a side, once in a while when you need something, but not as the main purpose of life. Focuses on making money, but often in a desperate way, survival-based instead of value-based. At a higher level, making money is a side effect of providing value. And there's a lot of focus on whether you're superior or inferior. Lots of too much comparing, I'm superior to this person. Oh my goodness, he's superior to me. Because if you see a lot of people who are inferior to you, eventually you'll come across someone you feel inferior to. Okay? If you focus too much on that. And again, I'm not saying there's no such thing as people who are superior in their field, who are good at certain things, or superior in their athleticism, or superior in their looks. I'm saying that you don't need this preoccupation. The next level is what I call the polarized self. And at this level, there's the important awakening of an awareness of right and wrong. There's discernment, which is important. And the reason I present this way is because many people skip consciousness levels and aim straight for the highest level of consciousness, aim straight for spiritual states and enlightenment, and that's not the way life is set up. That's not really the way it works. And most people that I've observed actually fail because they've jumped over all the basics of life, aiming just for the spiritual, but life is not only spiritual, it's also physical, it's also mind, it's also heart, it's not only soul. So the idea is to be a whole being, a whole human being that integrates every level, that integrates every chakra, that integrates every self. And that includes discernment and an awareness of right and wrong. However, stuck at this level, there's an overemphasis of right and wrong, which can make a person judgmental, very judgmental and strict and cranky and often bored as well as boring. So being boring and being bored often go together. Okay, if a person keeps telling me how bored they are, it might have something to do with the fact that they're boring. The polarized self, as I call it, is safety-oriented, is polarity aware, aware of men and women, aware of up and down, very aware of ranks and levels. And while the polarized self is more patient and more wise than previous levels, it's still pretty confined, pretty limited. However, you should go through this level on your way upwards. You should learn the basics of organization and orderliness, because that releases and frees up a lot of attention. Cleanliness is also part of this level, and that's how you overcome the lower levels. You know that when you clean up your place, clean up your life, and get your stuff together, you start to feel better. You start to feel more in control, less victim. At this level, we seek entertainment, we seek adventure, we seek excitement because it's boring. That's the focus, looking for something new, looking to break free. We lack courage, so we seek courage. And courage is the way to break through to higher levels, taking a few risks. We seek freedom at this level because we don't have any. So often the stopper in life is lack of courage. I have a lot of students who tell me they can't do this, can't do that. My culture forbids this, and I gotta do this job that I don't want to do because I don't have the courage to just quit the job because of money. So this lack of courage is what stops us from progressing. A slavery to and dependence upon money and the so-called system. The next level is what I call the balanced self. And here there's an awakening of interest in the world, actual interest in others. There's a focus on education and on knowledge. And one is generally pleasant and pleasing and friendly, thankful for life's events, regardless of hardships, willing to go through a few hardships. One is generally open-minded and capable of self-reflection and self-awareness and thinking about one's behavior and choices in life. There's some integrity at this level. And that integrity is not only based on society's ideas of what's right and wrong, but it's a higher integrity, loyal to the soul. There's a willingness to do. There's a willingness to try things, a willingness to work, a willingness to make experiences. I'm willing to experience something new. At this level, we're communicative, and all of these are positive traits to get you out of the previous victim modes. Communicate more, interact more, experience more, be willing to do. At even higher levels, it's not about doing, it's about being, about who you are and how you feel. But at this level, you're willing to do it. Okay? All of these things can elevate you. Getting an education, getting knowledge, feeling gratitude. One level up, there's the creative self. And here you have an awakening of imagination. At the previous levels, it's mainly about thinking. You think you can grasp life through thinking, through information, through the internet. through what other people say, through others' thoughts. And the creative self begins developing his or her own thoughts, begins imagining, begins having ideas, begins relying more on intuition, on your innate feeling and knowing, your spontaneous knowing. The creative self likes to create stuff, to initiate stuff, to take responsibility instead of waiting to be told what to do. You're self-motivated at this level. I've learned a lot of things in my life self-motivated. Nobody asked me to do them. I just did them from within. There's a lot of individualism here. There's a sense of serenity, and other people's opinions and views matter less. Okay? At this level, I'm not going to be shocked or devastated or brought down or be insulted or offended by others' views. Those are just others' views, and I have my views, period. There's an awareness of success and successful people. There's an appreciation of beauty, of art, an appreciation of excellence, of jobs well done. And all of these things, again, will get you to higher energy. Everything I just listed. Appreciation, self-responsibility, creative work, imagination, intuition. I mean, you just have to close your eyes for a minute and think something of your own. Imagine something of your own, and you'll instantly feel better. Literally feel better. The next level is what I call the successful self. But my definition of success is a bit different than that of the world. True success is, to me, success without overworking, without exhausting yourself to the point of bad health. True success is success without strings attached. So the world's definition of success is often with strings attached, okay? I am successful, I got this fancy house and fancy car, but, you know, what did you have to do for it? Did you have to work in a job for it that you hated and suppress your feelings all the time? Did you have to do non-integrous acts? That's not real success. Success is without strings attached. That's real success, and that's what you have at this level. You have independent success. You have mastery of various skills, and those skills cannot be taken from you. You have them. You don't define your success just over money, but over that which makes you money, your skills, for instance. The focus on money is low consciousness, actually, because it's not about the money, it's about that which generates and makes money. Your enthusiasm, your love, your kindness, your customer service, your skill, your inner powers, that's what makes and generates money. The value you provide. So people who are focused on getting money or getting customers are not really getting the point. They're actually completely missing the point. Missing that great elusive secret to riches. And I know this because I've been teaching success for the last 25 years. I know that the exclusive focus on money is misguided, misaligned. At this level, you often have optimum health because high energy goes along with good health, especially when you're too busy to get sick. A lot of illness is actually created either because of exhaustion or in order to get people's attention or to get your own attention. There's often optimum finances, confidence, and influence. People at this level often have more influence. There's leadership, there's support of others, so you have enough money and enough power to be able to support others. And there's often high enthusiasm, high passion for whatever it is you do. You don't have to motivate yourself or get a motivational seminar. You're driven from within by passion. At the next level is what I call the loving self, which is focused on kindness, appreciation, gratitude. And this self shines brightly. Shines brightly and everybody knows it, everybody can see it. Very calm, very soothing presence, very pleased with life, and not at all bothered by others' presence. Not at all bothered by the many inconveniences of daily life. Not at all stressed. People at this level, their mere presence lightens things up. Their mere presence heals, calms. It would be enough to just hang out with these people in order to get better, regardless of what they say. And you'll find that some teachers are like that. Some spiritual teachers are like that. It doesn't matter what they do or say, just their presence lightens things up. This person is spiritually focused on source, focused on higher truth. You'll often see this person practicing conscious movement and conscious behavior. Not erratic, not hectic, very conscious. At the next level, we have what I'm calling the radiant self, who is a shining beacon of inspiration, trust, and love for the world. A teacher or demonstrator of truth. Somebody who makes a difference in the world. A humble servant of the highest good. Here there's less interest in worldly matters or material goods. There's interest in the nature of reality, interest in the skies, the stars, the universe. At this level, you cannot be bribed. And you don't really care whether somebody approves of you or not. You don't care how much money somebody offers for a certain job. All you care about is trust, love, healing, light, and the higher questions of life. So this is where you have the philosophers, the sages, the mystics, the so-called enlightened people, but they'd rarely call themselves enlightened. Others do that. They wouldn't do that. They're humble people. Okay, they don't go around saying, I'm enlightened, or I'm a master of this or that. Maybe master, okay, if they've got a special skill, but anybody who's truly enlightened tends to be humble and not talk about it or openly display it. And then finally, you have the transcendent self, which is one of the highest levels of consciousness you can achieve while still in a physical body. even though that state is often a bit too much for the nervous system. So most people never go that high. It's also called the oceanic self or the oceanic consciousness. It's very fluid. Reality is perceived as fluid and sparkling and energetic. It's a mystical state. There's a lot of humor, a lot of bliss, a lot of peace, and there's power instead of force. Nothing is achieved or manifested by force. There's really no desire at this level to begin with, and no need, because the ego has dissolved into oneness. And that does not mean that a person at this state is not unique. You are unique infinitely and forever, but the ego self, which is needy and clingy and attached and wanty, is completely gone. So whereas the previous level is very much into the skies and the stars and the universe, this level is often speaks in terms of fluidity or flow or water or rain or rivers and oceans, because that's how he perceives reality, as a blue, deep blue oceanic state. This state is achieved through meditation. Can be achieved through stopping the mind, through focusing, through prayer, through dedication, devotion, those kinds of practices. But it's much more easily achieved if the previous levels are integrated. Number one. Number two, you don't have to have this state in order to ascend to a better place after death. It's not absolutely necessary to have it. Okay, it's beautiful, but it's often so beautiful that you lose focus and interest in this world itself. So in my case, I've experienced the state. That's why I'm able to talk about these levels of energy with some amount of knowledge. And I actually went back down, intentionally back into the world. Because it's like, if you're in an airplane and you look down, you don't really perceive the details of the world anymore. Everything's just a big general thing. And the cars look really small and the house is small, and it's all very unimportant. And if I hadn't gone down back into the world, into lower states intentionally, I wouldn't be making this video. I wouldn't have written any books. I wouldn't be coaching anybody, because I just wouldn't concern me. Okay? I just say, oh, all is well. All is well. Somebody come to me for help or for coaching. So, all is well. Don't worry about it. And they'd be like, well, yeah, but I really need help. I need help. I'd say, well, all is well, in the grand scheme of things. And sometimes I actually want to say that, because all really is well from this perspective and in this self, in this state. So, in order to function effectively in the world, you then again reduce yourself. Okay? Because if you go really high, it can happen that you just leave. You just float away. Just float off. Blissfully float off. So, if you want to know more about these levels, I recommend my 3 books on levels of energy and consciousness, which are Levels of Energy, Journeys in Spectral Consciousness, and Realms of Consciousness. Those are the 3 main books on the topic, as well as my video course, Levels of Energy, which is even more advanced than the books, which provides specific meditations and practices to ascend on your own. My name is Fred Dodson. Have a nice day.